Melody and Nell are now publicly standing together, showing a united front that surprised many viewers. Their actions make it clear they are no longer trying to avoid confrontation or keep things peaceful for appearances. Destiny, once considered a close friend, is now at the center of the conflict. What makes everything more shocking is how quickly it escalated, with no more attempts to hide feelings or keep issues private. The emotions feel raw, like years of built-up hurt and frustration have finally reached a breaking point. Fans can clearly feel the tension through every interaction. Destiny, who usually appears confident and bold, now seems overwhelmed as criticism comes from all sides. Social media is filled with opinions, theories, and accusations, but the real situation appears much deeper than online drama. Many believe what viewers are seeing now is the result of long-term broken trust, emotional distance, and friendships slowly falling apart over time. To understand the situation, it helps to go back. Before all the conflict, Melody and Destiny actually appeared very close. On the show and off-camera, they looked like genuine friends who supported each other through difficult times. When Melody's marriage was falling apart publicly, Destiny stood by her, and later when Destiny faced her own struggles, Melody also showed support. For a while, their friendship seemed strong and real. However, over time, things began to change. Conversations became colder, communication slowed down, and small misunderstandings grew into emotional distance. Viewers noticed the shift long before anyone admitted there was a problem. Fans kept wondering what truly caused the fallout, but neither woman gave a full explanation. Instead, audiences only saw fragments, awkward silence, short replies, and subtle comments suggesting deeper issues. One of the reported turning points was when Melody learned about Destiny's divorce through outside sources rather than directly from her. This deeply hurt Melody and made her question the strength of their friendship. After that, the distance between them grew even more. Melody felt excluded and hurt, while Destiny felt misunderstood and frustrated, making the gap between them wider over time. Later, Destiny accused Melody of being fake and suggested her support only felt real when cameras were rolling. She also implied jealousy might have played a role in their issues. However, many viewers questioned these claims. Melody responded by saying she had tried to maintain the friendship and reach out, but Destiny had become emotionally distant and hard to connect with. Eventually, Melody stepped away completely, as she often does when she feels a relationship is no longer healthy. The situation became even more complicated afterward. Instead of quietly moving on, Destiny began interacting with people who openly criticized Melody, which fans noticed through timing, posts, and subtle online behavior. Then Nell became part of the discussion. She had always been seen as one of Melody's strongest supporters, so rumors that she might be sharing information with Destiny shocked viewers. At first, it seemed unlikely, but fans started analyzing social media activity, likes, and moments where Nell stayed silent instead of defending Melody publicly. At the same time, Destiny appeared to know details many believed she should not have known, which fueled even more suspicion. People began questioning whether information was being shared behind the scenes or if the internet was simply overanalyzing everything. As speculation grew, Melody suddenly stopped interacting publicly with Nell. No comments, no acknowledgement, and no visible support made fans assume something had gone wrong between them. Nell also remained quiet, posting vague messages that only increased confusion. Meanwhile, Destiny continued making comments suggesting she had inside information about Melody's situation. Then the situation shifted again. Melody began posting cryptic messages about fake loyalty, betrayal, and people pretending to support you while working against you. Many fans interpreted this as being directed at Nell. Shortly after, Nell appeared more openly supportive of Melody, engaging with her posts and showing clear alignment. However, by this point, trust had already been damaged, and many fans felt the damage was irreversible. Now, Destiny is defending herself strongly, claiming that Melody and Nell have teamed up against her and are trying to damage her reputation. She insists they have been fake from the beginning and later took her side of the story online to explain her perspective. With both sides speaking out and emotions running high, the situation continues to grow more complicated, and fans believe this conflict is far from over. As Destiny continued speaking out, she made it clear she felt isolated and targeted. In her version of events, she believes Melody and Nell have been working together behind the scenes and turning the situation against her in a way that damages her reputation. She insisted that what viewers are seeing is only one side of the story and that there is more happening than what is being shown publicly. On the other hand, Melody and Nell's supporters see things very differently. From their perspective, they believe Destiny has a pattern of twisting situations and avoiding responsibility when friendships fall apart. They point to past disagreements and past seasons where similar conflicts happened and argue that this is not the first time Destiny has been involved in drama that escalated publicly. As both sides continue to speak, the divide among fans has only grown stronger. Some believe Destiny is being unfairly treated and pushed out of friendships, while others feel she is repeating behaviors that lead to repeated fallout. Social media discussions have become intense, with people rewatching old clips, interviews, and scenes trying to understand who is being truthful. What makes this situation even more complicated is that there is still no clear resolution. None of the women have fully come together to publicly settle the matter, and instead, each update seems to create more questions than answers. Every new post, interview, or reaction adds another layer to the conflict, making it harder for fans to see a clear ending. At this point, what started as friendship issues has turned into a much larger emotional and public divide. Trust has been broken on multiple sides, and communication appears almost completely shut down. Whether there is ever reconciliation or not remains uncertain, but for now, the tension continues to grow, and the story still feels unfinished. As the situation continues to unfold, it becomes even more clear that this is no longer just a simple disagreement between cast members. It has turned into a full emotional split that is playing out both on and off the screen. Every new comment, post, or interview seems to add more fuel to the fire instead of bringing clarity or calm. What stands out most is how deeply personal everything has become. This is no longer just about misunderstandings or casual disagreements. It now feels like years of unresolved emotions, silent resentment, and broken trust have all come to the surface at the same time. Each woman appears to be standing firmly in her own truth, with very little room left for compromise or middle ground. Fans have also noticed how quickly alliances and public support have shifted. One moment someone is being defended, and the next moment they are being questioned or distanced from. This constant shift has made it difficult for viewers to know what to believe, and it has turned the entire situation into an ongoing debate rather than a clear resolution. Meanwhile, the cast dynamic itself feels permanently changed. What once looked like a tight group of friendships now appears divided, with clear emotional lines drawn between people who once shared close bonds. Even neutral interactions now carry meaning, and small actions are being analyzed heavily by fans trying to decode what is really going on behind the scenes. Despite all the public discussion, none of the key issues seem close to being resolved. There is still no full reconciliation, no complete explanation, and no moment where all sides have come together to address everything openly. Instead, there is only distance, tension, and ongoing frustration that continues to grow with every passing development. At this point, it is unclear whether time will eventually heal these relationships or whether the damage is permanent. What is certain, however, is that the fallout has changed the group dynamic completely, and the emotional weight of everything that has happened is still very present. For now, the situation remains open-ended, with fans still watching closely, waiting to see what happens next. As things continue to develop, the tension shows no signs of easing. Instead, the situation feels like it is settling into a long-term divide rather than a temporary disagreement. Each new public statement or reaction only adds another layer of complexity, making it harder for anyone involved to fully step back or reset the narrative. Within the group, there is now a noticeable emotional separation. What used to be casual communication and shared moments has turned into guarded interactions and silence. Even when the women are in the same space, the energy feels different, less relaxed, more cautious, and heavily influenced by everything that has already happened. Nothing feels spontaneous anymore, as if every word and gesture is being carefully measured. At the same time, fans have become even more invested in trying to piece together the full story. Old clips are being rewatched, past interviews are being reinterpreted, and earlier seasons are being analyzed in a completely new light. Moments that once seemed minor or harmless are now being treated as possible clues to deeper issues that were building for years. Despite all the speculation, there still isn't a single clear version of events that everyone agrees on. Each side continues to hold on to their own perspective, and neither seems willing to fully step back from their stance. This has made the situation feel even more stuck, with no clear path toward resolution in sight. What remains most obvious is that the relationships have fundamentally changed. Even if conversations eventually happen or tensions calm down in the future, things are unlikely to return to how they once were. The trust that once connected them has been replaced with doubt, distance, and emotional barriers that are difficult to ignore. For now, the story continues to unfold in real time, shaped by reactions, silence, and ongoing public interpretation. And until something shifts significantly, the situation remains open, unresolved, and still deeply followed by fans trying to understand where it all truly went wrong. As the situation continues to unfold, it becomes clear that the conflict is no longer just about specific incidents or misunderstandings. It has evolved into a long-standing emotional divide that keeps resurfacing with every new development. Each update seems to reopen old wounds instead of closing them, making any sense of resolution feel increasingly distant. Within the group, communication remains limited and highly guarded. What used to be natural friendships and easy interactions has now been replaced with distance and caution. Even simple moments are now influenced by the history between them, and there is a constant awareness of how anything said or done might be interpreted or misunderstood. At the same time, the public reaction continues to grow stronger. Fans are no longer just reacting to current events. They are connecting past seasons, past interviews, and old interactions in an attempt to understand how everything reached this point. This has turned the entire situation into something ongoing, where every detail is re-examined through the lens of current tension. Despite all the attention, there is still no clear direction toward closure. No unified conversation has taken place that fully addresses all sides of the issue, and instead, each person remains firm in their own viewpoint. This lack of resolution has kept the divide active, with no real indication that it is easing. What is becoming most obvious is that even if there is eventually a calm period, the relationships themselves may never fully return to what they once were. The trust that once connected them has been deeply affected, and the emotional distance between them has become a lasting part of the dynamic. For now, everything remains unresolved and ongoing. The situation continues to develop in fragments, through silence, reactions, and public interpretation, while fans continue watching closely, waiting to see if there will ever be a moment where clarity finally arrives or if this divide becomes the new normal. As the story continues to unfold, the atmosphere around the situation remains tense and unpredictable. Instead of moving toward resolution, each new development seems to deepen the divide even further. What was once a close-knit group dynamic now feels fractured, with emotional distance becoming the new normal between everyone involved. Within the group, there is a clear sense that things cannot easily go back to how they were. Conversations, when they do happen, appear limited and careful, as if everyone is aware of the history sitting behind every interaction. Even moments that used to feel light or natural now carry weight, shaped by everything that has already been said and done. At the same time, the public continues to play a major role in how the situation evolves. Every post, comment, and reaction is closely watched and quickly interpreted, often adding more pressure to an already sensitive dynamic. Instead of calming things down, outside attention has only intensified the emotional stakes, making it harder for anyone involved to step away from the narrative. What is also becoming more obvious is that this situation is no longer driven by one single event or misunderstanding. It has become a buildup of repeated hurt, shifting loyalties, and unresolved emotions that have accumulated over time. Because of that, even small actions are now seen